liberation from the thinking self. So what does this mean? So liberation from the thinking self, it implies that there is a self or someone who is thinking. So it's a bit of a misnomer, but we know that this isn't the case because we talked about this last time, how there are thoughts and there's awareness of thoughts, but there is no thinker. There is no one doing the thinking. There's simply you're picking up on thoughts, you're aware of the thoughts, but you're not the thinker of your thoughts. So it's the same as clouds appearing in the sky. Thoughts appear in awareness. And if there are thoughts but no thinker, then there's no need to be liberated because there is no one to liberate. So the reason why we're calling it liberation from the thinking self is because most of us believe that we are the thinker of our thoughts. Most of us believe that we are the mind. So that's what we're liberating from, that false belief that we are the thinker, we are the mind. So we're really working on dismantling that belief. And then once that belief is dismantled, then everything else kind of falls apart. It's like that structure, it's the house of cards. You take the bottom card out and everything just falls immediately. So there is nothing else really to deconstruct. You don't have to deconstruct subconscious beliefs or begin looking at every false belief that you have. It's just this one false belief that you are the thinker of your thoughts, that you're believing those thoughts, that you're getting caught up in the thought that those thoughts are yours. Once you separate yourself, you take a step back and you realize that you're not the thinker. There is no one doing the thinking. There's just thoughts, and you are the neutral awareness that's observing the thought. So the thing that we've got caught up on is this illusion of being the person who's thinking. So the whole sense of identity, the me that we call ourselves, that we think we are. And it's when we really look at it, this sense of identity, and we've talked about this before, it's really just a collection of thoughts, a collection of beliefs, a collection of preferences, of memories, of labels. There's no real substance to it. And when you remove the identity, when you remove this collection of thoughts, even for a moment, what remains? So when thoughts fall away, what remains? And let yourself pause for a moment and just question this. What remains when thoughts fall away? And don't rush to find an answer. Just ask yourself this question and be open. What remains when thoughts fall away? And when you ask this, don't look for a concept. Don't look for something to fill the gap. Just look and see what's there. So when you look and you ask yourself what remains when thought falls away, you'll find that you are still there, you still exist, you are still aware. And even if those thoughts fall away for a split second and then they start back up again, during that split second, when thoughts fall away, what remains? And you'll find that what remains has always been here. And it's not a blankness, it's not a void, it's not something empty. It's very full and it's alive and it's your beingness. And what remains is you. It's the you that exists, that isn't made up of stories, that isn't made up of roles or identity. It's the you that is your true self, your radiant, shining, formless awareness that you are. It's always here, it's always now. It's clear, it's untouched by any passing thought or emotion that comes into that awareness. So even if you touch on that for a split second, and again, we don't need to get rid of thoughts to be aware of this, but when we look at it from that aspect of when thoughts fall away, what remains? And we just sit and look and we observe. And we find that our true nature is right here, right now, shining brightly, always here, always present, always clear, untainted, formless awareness. So, this is really what we're getting at. And you'll find that there's nothing you need to do to create this formless awareness. You can ask yourself a question to tune into it. You can say what remains when thoughts fall away, and that creates a little bit of space. And you look for a second, and in that looking, there's a pause in the thought because you're looking for what remains when thoughts fall away. And during that moment, you're creating that little bit of space and you're noticing that, well, there is no thought, but there is something here now, something very familiar, something that's always been here. And the more you do this, the more you'll recognize it. And it's not hard to recognize. It's because it's so omnipresent. It's always here that we tend to overlook it. But it's so obvious. And you don't need to do anything to create that. When you ask that question, what remains when thoughts fall away, and you pause and look, you're not trying to create something. You're not trying to create a false sense of peace or bliss or anything else. You're not trying to create awareness. You're not trying to create presence. It's just there. It's the background of everything. It's the witness that's always present. And it doesn't need to be created because it is omnipresent. So your true nature is here now, shining brightly. Yes, we tend to think that it has been obscured by thought, by emotions, by sensations. And because we were super focused on those thoughts, on those emotions, on those sensations, on those beliefs, it seemed as if our true nature, that shining, radiant presence, it seemed as if it went somewhere. But it was still there observing. It was still present in order to have a thought. That presence, that awareness needs to be there first in order to recognize the thought. It always needs to have that basis of presence, of awareness for anything to be noticed, to be observed, to be experienced. So beginning to recognize that it hasn't gone anywhere, it's always here right now. And in that knowledge, you can begin to surrender to it. You can begin to look from that space of presence awareness rather than thinking you are a separate entity that exists and lives in a world of struggle or fear. Because when you do pause and ask that, what remains when thoughts fall away? And you look and you find that this presence, this awareness that remains, it's always here, it's safe. There's there's an essence to it that you just know that this presence that you are, is completely safe. It's loving, it's beautiful. In this space, there's nothing to fear. You only need to ask that question, and for that split second, even if it's only for a moment, where you pause and you look and you say, what remains when thoughts fall away? And you create that little bit of openness, that little bit of space, and you realize, yes, it's here. That awareness, that presence is here. It's always here.